Hi everyone, in this video we'll look at a 2021 paper, internal question 22. We'll look at question 22A and question 22B. So let's start with A. Given that the square root of 2 is equals to 2 power x, find the value of x. So this is question 22A. Okay, then we have question 22B. Says the diagram below shows the graph of y equals to negative x plus 2, x minus 5. The graph cuts the x-axis at A and B. So this is the graph. It cuts here at A and B. Then we have the questions below. Find the gradient of points A and B. Coordinates. The coordinates of point A and B. So coordinate of this point and B. Then the maximum value of y. Okay. Now, we are going to start with the first question before we look at question 2B. So this is the first question. Now, how do we solve this question? So what I'm going to do, I'll solve it on another paper. I'll just solve it here. So we start solving. So this is question 22A. We want to find the value of x. Now, if you have a square root like this square root, before it was like this, it present 2 to the power 1 over 2. Okay, so 1 over 2 is the same as the square root. Now, you have to recall the rules of indices. So, for example, if you have a square root of x, this means x to the power 1 over 2. Then, number 3, if you have a cube root of x, this means x to the power 1 over 3. Okay, you see that? Now, in this case, we have square root of 2. It means 2 to the power 1 over 2. Then we equate to 2 power what? X. Now, these bases are same. When the bases are same, it means the powers are what? Are equal. So we can simply cancel the powers. You see, we have x equals to what? 1 over 2. So I'll say, therefore, x, I want to start with x, is equals to 1 over 2. That's all. We are done solving. So it was easy to solve this question. Now, we are going to look at question 22B. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to solve question 22B. The diagram below shows the graph of y equals to negative x plus 2, x minus 5. The graph cuts the x-axis at A and B. Now here there is a certain knowledge that you have to understand. So this line, this line, it is the x-axis. So this line, it has another name. This x-axis, it is called y equals to 0. Now, why is it called y equals to 0? It is called y equals to 0 because any point that we pick in this point in this line for y, it will be 0. For example, assuming, okay, I just want to assume, let's say we have point here and we have another point, just this. Let's say maybe this one was point D, for example, point D. Let's say I put maybe 4, for example. I put 4 here, then this one I put E, then I put 5. You see that? I put 5. Okay, now, if we were to pick the coordinate for D, what would be the point here? The point there for D, it will be 4, comma 0. Why? Because D, it does not move to any point, it's just here. Then E, what will be the point for E? E, it will be 5, comma 0 as well, okay? You see that? Now, let's observe the point for Y. This one is X, this one is Y, this one is X, this one is for Y. If we observe the point for Y, they are all what? 0. So this is the reason why this line it is called y equals to 0. So this is very important for you to understand. Now let's go back to the question and solve what it is required. So we have been told to find the point of A and B, this point A and what? B. So we want this point here, A and what? And B. So to solve that, we are going to use this original equation. So this is 1. We say y is equals to negative x plus 2, then x minus what? 5. Okay. Now, remember, we want to find A and B. But in this line, this A and B, it is in x-axis, where y is equals to what? 0. So we can say that in x-axis, y is equals to what? To 0. Meaning that here where there is y, we are going to replace with what? With 0. You see, that is what we are going to do. So we'll say that y is equals to, where there is y, I've replaced with 0, since in x-axis y is 0. So equals to negative x plus 2, then x minus what? Minus 5. Now, when we reach this stage, remember, I want first to solve for x, the values of x. These are two equations. This negative x plus 2 is equated to what? To 0. Also, this x minus 5 is equated to what? To 0. Okay. Now, suppose I want to start with this expression. I want to start with what is in the bracket. I'll remove it. I'll say I'll have negative x plus 2 then equals to what? To 0. I've just started with this at first and put it to the far end without changing anything. Also, this one, x minus 5 will be equals to 0. Or I'll say, x minus 5 equals to what? To 0. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to find the value of x. Now, how can I find the value of x? So, what I'll do to find the value of x, I'll just check this 2, the other side. Okay, but we can see that x is equals to 2. Okay, but I'll just show it so that you get to understand what we are doing. So this 2 will cross the equal sign. So we have negative x equals to 0 minus what? 2. This is a positive. It crosses the equal sign, becomes a negative. So negative x then equals 0 minus 2 is negative 2. Now we are not done. Since x is attached with negative 1. You know, here there is a coefficient of 1, an invisible 1 here. There is an invisible 1 there. So to find x, we just say over negative 1 and here over negative 1. We cancel our x. This will just be cancelled. 1 into 2 is 2. So the first value, x is equals to 2. The second value, or this side, or this is a negative. When it crosses the equal sign, it becomes a positive. So it will be 0 plus 5. So our x is equals to what? To 5. Okay. Now, these are values of what? Of x. X is 2, x is 5. So we have to go back to this, to the graph. So on the graph, remember, we have found the values x is 2 and another one x is 5. So which one can it be 5 between A and what? And B. Now, this is a 0. From 0, the numbers, they will be ascending, meaning increasing it to be 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay? So from 0, somewhere there we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So meaning the first value here for where there is A, here there is a 2. And where there is B, here there is 5. If the numbers, they are increasing from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, until you get to what? To 5. So now, when writing the answers, we know now that A is 2. We just say the coordinates. Therefore, your coordinates A, it is 2, 0. Okay? And B, you be 5, 0. These are the coordinates that they want. Now, why are we writing 0 here? Remember, we said that y is what? Is 0. Then x we have solved for x. So meaning this present x and this one y. This x, this one y. Okay. So these are the coordinates. There's no need for you to put x and y. I'm doing this to make you understand. So these are the coordinates for the first point, which is A and B. Then 2, maximum value of y. You see that? Now, the maximum value, it means the graph is opening upward. You see, it has opened upward. So, at this point, that's the maximum value. You see, at that point is what they want, the maximum value of y. So, at this point, it is this where I've put this red ink here. If you can see nice, it is cutting the curve in 2 equal parts. It has 2 lines of symmetry. Meaning, at this point, there is x and there is what? Y. So the question is saying maximum value of what? Of y, meaning they want this value. So what to do to find the value of y, the maximum value of y? First of all, we have to know the maximum value for x. Okay? So to find x is easy to find x. So when finding x, first of all we find x. So the formula to find x, there are a lot of ways, but I'll show you the simple one. So to find x, you will say x1 plus x2 over 2. Okay, so this is the line of symmetry formula that you can use. Or you can use this, others they use this, x is equals to negative b over 2a. Okay, but in this lesson, we look at this one is the easiest for me. So what you do now here, we say x equals, we get x1. Remember, these are the values. x1 will be 2 here, 2. You add 2, then plus x2, it is this point that we had found, which is a 5. Then we do what? We divide. So our x is equals to 2 plus 5. So 2 plus 5 is 7 over what? Over 2. Okay, we'll leave it without changing it in 2 points. So our x will be 7 over 2. Now, after finding our x to be 7 over 2, now we can find the y value. Okay, now we can find the y value, which is the maximum value. Now, how are we going to find this value? We are going to use the original equation from the curve, which is here. Okay, so stay tuned and I'll take you through how it is done. Okay, so to find the value of y, now we use this original equation, which is here. Our x we have found to be 7 over 2. Meaning, where there is x there, we have to replace with 7 over 2. So our y will be equals to negative x. Okay, our x is 7 over 2 plus 2. We close the bracket, open the bracket. Our x is 7 over 2 minus 5. Then we do what? We close the bracket. Now, bear in mind, this is paper 1. So there is no need to use a calculator. So what you are going to do, we are going just to put this over a 1. You do like this. Then you find a common denominator of 2 and 1. Okay, which is what? A 2. Then we say 2 into 2 is 1. 1 times 7 is negative 7. Okay, plus, since here there is a plus sign, 1 into 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is what? Is a 4. Again, I was saying 2 into 2, we find a 1. 1 multiplied by negative 7 is negative 7. 1 into 2, you find a 2. This 2 times 2 is a 4. Okay. Now, I want just to solve this. We have to solve this. So, remember, this thing is in the bracket. Okay. This thing is in the bracket. Now, we have negative 7 plus 4. We add negative 7 plus 4. It will be what? Negative 3 over 2 in the bracket without using a calculator. Okay. Then this side we do the same. We say over a 1. Then we find the common denominator. So the common denominator of 2 and 1 is a 2. This 2 into 2 is 1. 1 times 7 is 7. Minus 1 into 5. So, 1 into 2 is 2. 2 times 5 is a 10. So, again here, this 2 goes into 2 one time. 1 times 7, 7. 1 into 2, 2. 2 times 5, 10. Okay, you just maintain the sign. If there's negative, maintain the negative sign. Then the next thing, I want to put my answer here. Okay, here there is over this line, that's the line. This 2 will just be maintained. Then we say 7, take away 10, it will be negative what? 3. You see that? 7 minus 10 is negative 3. Now, here, do not put any sign here. In maths, if you have something like this, it's the same as there is what? There is times. Okay. So, the only sign maybe you can put is times, but do not put a positive sign or a negative. No. The brackets, 2 brackets like this in maths, it means by or multiplication. Okay. So, in this case, what we are going to do, we'll just say negative 3 times negative 3. You get what? Positive 9. Since this negative and negative is what? Positive. 3 times 3 is 9. This 2 times 2 is what? Is 4. Remember, you're finding the y value. After that, we can put this in a mixed fraction. We say, how many times can 4 go into 9? That's 2 times remainder 1 over a 4. This is the maximum value that they want. 4 into 9, 2 times remainder 1 over 4. Then we are done. Okay? So this is how it is done. So for lessons, you can kindly call or WhatsApp this line. Okay, thank you for watching.